Hi, I'm Starlet Baker. I'm the Executive Director for Strongwater Farm, and I'm here today with Martha Gaffney.
Hello, everyone.
She is the board president with Strongwater. And let me tell you, I am just so excited about the Strongwater series. So this will be the first episode, so to speak.
I'm thrilled. I am absolutely delighted.
Good. So yeah, you're our first official guest. So across the Strongwater series that I've kind of dubbed it, there'll be a chapter on Meet the Board. So we'll meet a few of the board members. We'll be meet the team and then meet the herd. And then I've got a few other ideas in mind for the remainder of the year too. Right. So the Strongwater series, if I'm on top of my game, right?
Which you always are.
I appreciate that. I know how to fake it well. So whenever it comes to the Strongwater series, it should be throughout all of the rest of 2026.
Wonderful.
Right. And then I also kind of have a plan to help out with our veterans and first responders campaign and little ad hoc videos here and there to kind of help reach our audience a little bit more often and kind of change up some of the messages from time to time. But the idea is that we will post YouTube videos on Fridays for the Strongwater series, regardless of what chapter it is. And then kind of go from there. So the idea is to get our story, our wonderful story here, up and out. If you remember, whenever we were talking to Strategic Muses for the gala last year, one of the pieces of feedback that we got is that they just don't know who we are. Yeah. And
exactly.
It's sad, right? So we've had some people come into the door and be like, yeah, I pass by the place every day. And I didn't even know that you guys were here.
Right.
I'm like, well, you know what? Welcome. Here we are.
Yeah.
So it's good. So that's kind of the plan for the Strongwater series. So more to follow on that. And hopefully I stick to the plan. But we're going to go ahead and talk about you, right?
Okay. But first, I'd like to talk about you.
Yeah, that's right. I suck at doing that sometimes.
Starlet, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you arrived at Strongwater and the contributions you're making here, which are enormous. But why don't you tell us about your background? And I will try and not bring out the Chinook helicopter.
No Chinooks. The idea was to do anyway. So yeah, great question. That is kind of, I can make it really long story, but really short story just here. I, enlisted into the military in 1999.
Just so everyone's aware, Starlet is a major in the U.S.
Right.
Army.
Yep. Soon to be retired within the next few months. So yes. So I enlisted in 1999, and then I got my commission as an aviator in 2012, transitioned to an HR officer, and yes, now I'm getting ready to retire as a field grade officer from the United States Army. Family is super ecstatic about that. So a couple of years ago, how I got into Strongwater was as a volunteer. I was at my college opportunity that the Army kind of provides a lot of people for my master's at Northeastern. And during the summer, I was like, well, I really kind of need a purpose outside my four walls. And then I looked up for volunteer opportunities online. And even though Strongwater was kind of toward the bottom of the list of what I saw, I was drawn to our mission statement, right? Enriching lives. And I just kept gravitating back to Strongwater regardless of wherever I searched at. And then I reached out to our volunteer coordinator, Stacy. And I'm telling you, the second that I met her, I was like, she's awesome. But then what added to that, really made it the right call for me. I walked in the door and I just felt so much peace, right? Even at that volunteer orientation, my first volunteer orientation back in May of 2021. I just felt so much peace. And the more I got involved in Strongwater, as far as the volunteer opportunities, the more I just didn't want to leave. And then eventually I had the opportunity to work very part-time in the equine operations staff. And I got to help in a bigger way because there was a retreat, team retreat that they were trying to go to.
You're right, I remember that.
Yeah, and so I got to cover down for the barn chores for a couple of days. So I was super excited about that. And then I started looking into the process for the CTRI and becoming a PATH certified instructor myself. And so I'm kind of on my way for that. And so the more I'm here, the more I'm just like, I want more. Like, I want to help more. I want to help more. And then when the previous executive director, Joni, she talked to me about maybe backfilling her. I was like, all right, as a person of faith, I'm like, all right, God, I hear you, because it was just the right timing between my family saying, hey, please retire. It's like, okay, fine. And then Joni asked me about being the executive director. And then, of course, going through the interview process myself, a year and a half ago, I think at this point.
A year and a half ago, and I will just share it was a no-brainer.
I appreciate that.
We were blessed when Starlet decided to interview for the position, and it was, as I said, a very easy decision for us to make.
Yeah,
we're thrilled.
It's a natural next step for me post-military. But the bigger picture for me personally is I get to continue to serve. I struggled with the idea of retiring because I love that life of service, right? I love having that purpose, having that direction, and the military gives you so much of that. And then being here at Strongwater, I'm just like, I get that same professional fulfillment here that I really thought that I'd never get again out of the military. So yeah, it was kind of a win-win.
It definitely was a win-win. Definitely a win-win for everybody, including our four-legged therapist, because she takes great care of the horses too. She does it all.
The team definitely does. The instructors here are amazing, and it just really feels like home. It feels peace.
Yeah.
Right. So it's good. So thank you for that, because I have a challenge at talking about myself and things like that, and kind of owning my own story, if I'm being honest.
Well, it's a great story to tell. So thank you.
Thanks. All right. So how did you get involved in Strongwater?
Well, I actually grew up in Tewksbury.
Okay.
So not very far from here, and have a affinity for the hospital. My first job was at Tewksbury State Hospital. And I did that as a nurse's aide for my entire college tenure during the summers. And when MJ actually approached me and said that this opportunity to be part of this Strongwater family existed, MJ and Dave Bohr, it seemed like a natural fit. So I started actually just helping out on one of the committees, and then joined the board, and subsequently became president of the board. And I've been in that position for about 6 years now. And I'm just delighted to be part of such a fabulous organization, and am committed to the mission and committed to coming here and seeing the miracles that happen on a daily basis.
Right. Those impact stories I like to send out in my update.
The impact stories are heartwarming, and I've witnessed them as well. Every day that you come here, you witness a miracle of some sort. So it's a really wonderful, very special place. But yeah, MJ is the founder, and she had the vision to bring what was an old dairy barn that was part of the hospital property, and worked really tirelessly to deal with some very significant red tape to get a lease here on the hospital grounds.
Right.
And it's a 99-year lease. And so we'll be here for a while.
Yes.
And her vision came to fruition, and it is now a thriving enterprise that offers so many different programs to those most in need. So it's thrilling.
Yeah, so this is actually great timing to do the Strongwater series, because we're in our 25th year anniversary, right?
25 years.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of growth and a lot of change and a lot of consistency, if that makes sense. But yeah, we've stayed true to the mission.
Yeah.
And that's
where the consistency is.
And that's where the consistency is. But there's been a lot of growth. And, one of the things that I think is most significant was a decision that we made I'm thinking, ooh, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, to build this arena, which
Mm-hmm.
is spectacular. I invite
Yeah.
everybody to come look at the arena.
No
Everybody who
kidding.
sees it says this is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a no go, no go decision because we were at the time we had an outdoor arena. It really wasn't serviceable during the winter months.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a decision of whether we committed ourselves to moving forward with the programs, or maybe changing it up into a more, let's just say, recreational situation.
Mm-hmm.
But we moved on and said, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna all commit, and we did, and we now have this beautiful facility.
Right.
And it wasn't without its challenges. One of the most challenging things I think we kind of um, let's just say had to deal with was during the
Embraced.
pandemic. We
Right.
were actually opening the arena and moving
Mm-hmm.
into from the upper barn down here, and all of a sudden we were shut down.
Right.
And it was a very, very difficult several months to kind of manage through all of those challenges that that the pandemic brought to everybody.
Yeah.
But we muscled through it as a team and came out on the other side stronger and more committed to the mission than ever.
Right. I remember some of the stories and stuff like that because that was just before I started volunteering and kind of getting acquainted with some of the personal stories here and some of the kind of ins and outs of how things work here. And we were going through like the masks while we're, in the barn, or, when do we wear them? When do we not? And this overall, like, keeping your distance, but you got to help the clients too. And it's just, I don't know. It was a lot. I remember it being a lot, right? It's talking
It
at
was
it,
a lot.
after the fact. But yeah, you guys went through it so gracefully and so
Yeah.
smoothly.
Well, we were committed, and we have, many of our clients are so dependent on the routine,
Right.
and the knowledge that next week at this time will be my lesson, and so it was very difficult on the clients as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. I'm sure other, organizations went through some of the same challenges, but it was so nice to hear about Strongwater's mission and how we still stay true to everything and how we kind of grew from that entire experience, right? We can get through this.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, we got stronger together.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's good. That's good.
Stronger together.
I mean, there you go. Yeah. There. That's awesome. We have somebody at the door. All right. So we're going to, I guess, kind of move on. So you've been a part of the board now. You said board president now for 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then prior to that, so we've talked about one thing, COVID being one of the challenges, and then the growth and stuff like that. Is there another challenge that might have come to mind that, we've kind of gotten stronger together, like some of the other evolution of Strongwater that we've experienced?
I think we've worked through a couple different things
Mm-hmm.
that have made us stronger together, and part of it is development of a strategic plan,
Right.
and coming together as a board and some of the people that support the board, and really defining the mission
Mm-hmm.
and staying true to that. Now it was a long process, and a I would say a very evolutionary process, in that we'd start in one place and sort of end up in another.
Right.
But yeah, I would say that was one thing that was a very important initiative
Mm-hmm.
that brought us together and stronger as a board. As far as challenges, like every nonprofit, fundraising is an ongoing challenge, and especially
Yep.
in the general overall community, where there are several nonprofits, and each one has its own mission and its own value and its own service to those in need, but there are only so many dollars to go
Right.
around. So fundraising is an ongoing effort and an ongoing challenge, and we're blessed with some incredibly generous people, but
Mhm.
we need to get we need to broaden our base,
Right.
and that is one of the challenges that we have right
Mhm.
now. We're sort of, as you mentioned, we're not even that well known in Tewksbury.
Yes.
Never mind outside of Tewksbury, and we have a lot of opportunity outside of Tewksbury because we're one of the few nonprofits that offer equine services to the extent that we do,
Mhm.
in that we have all kinds of certified um, instructors that have many, many talents and many certifications and
Mhm.
are just so skilled. And we need to get the word out and help people outside of this general area. So
Right.
that's one of the challenges.
Yes. And I know one way that we are kind of going after that challenge is, we have like 10 events planned for 2026.
Exciting. Trivia night.
Oh, man. So we have all these different fundraisers now, all of these different events, and I'm really hoping that because of the variance of the different types of events, like the trivia night, like the hoedown, like the winter wonderland,
Like the golf tournament.
like the golf tournament, yep, swing with a purpose, right? So I'm hoping that will kind of help us bridge into different it'll help us bridge into different demographics, right?
Yeah,
Across.
absolutely, and that is by design. We are definitely looking at um, fundraisers that appeal to different people, and some of our fundraisers aren't actually fundraisers; they're friend raisers.
Yes.
And one of the most popular is our hoedown,
Yes.
which is scheduled for October
3rd?
1.
No, so October 1 is the gala.
Okay.
October 4th is the hoedown.
October 4th is the hoedown.
Yes.
Really a fun, family-oriented, come one, come all event.
Right.
Country music, food trucks, beer trucks, just a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's been like historically one of our primary fundraisers previous, right?
It started
That
out
between
again
that
as
and the gala.
that and the gala. We only had two.
Yeah.
Really have two. Now we have what, 10?
Hi. I definitely am the reason why we're so busy with that.
But again, one of our challenges is getting the word out that we are
Yep.
here. We have so much to offer. We have such skilled instructors and a herd of just beautiful, beautiful horses. We
Yep.
have everything from 2 minis that you could probably put in the back of your car,
Yep.
to Twinkle and King, who are Percheron giants.
Yes.
And everything in between. So we have just wonderful, wonderful horses, and they're taken care of beautifully by Melissa
Yep.
and the team.
Mm-hmm.
Get the word out. And
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely appreciate. I know I come in with like a lot of high energy, right, and kind of more.
No one noticed that.
Right. Different ideas that maybe the board or whoever, the community, aren't really used to quite yet. But I definitely appreciate your guys' grace and patience and saying, okay, you know what, let's do it. Let's do it. Fight like it depends on us, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the goal for 2026. And plus, it kind of helps with getting the word up and out, like what we were talking about earlier. So that's good. And kind of bridging into those different communities and maybe hopefully gathering some more community partners, even if it's just not just in Tewksbury, but like in Burlington, Billerica.
Yep.
So yeah, overall, great. It's gonna be busy 2026.
It's gonna be a busy 2026. There's no question about it. I already feel like we're halfway through it and it's only mid-January. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. And that doesn't even include some of the partnerships that we're developing with groups outside of Strongwater, like Hidden Battles and
22 Mohawks.
22 Mohawks,
right.
And some of the veterans groups that we're working with to provide
Soldier on,
home base maybe, but to provide special services to that very, very, very special class of individuals. So
right.
And we have some interesting programs that are designed for veterans that include talk therapy as well as riding therapy.
You bring up a great point. So I know throughout 2025, one of the main focuses was getting the team kind of more professionally developed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So A little bit of news, right? We
Mhm.
now have 3 more additional ESMHLs, which is the Equine Specialist Mental Health and Learning. They're the ones specifically qualified to work in the psychotherapy and the equine assisted learning space. So that's exciting news. We have at least 2 others that are pending their certification for ESMHL. And then we actually have an LMHC on staff now, which I'm sure you know about,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So she is incredible. So we're super excited about a lot of the talent that we have within the team and really developing the team to be able to provide different types of services.
Yeah.
Right? We're not just doing the adaptive riding. We're doing more than that. We're doing more about the horsemanship, about the connection, about the, building blocks of courage, really, to build the connection and to feel safe and to kind of build trust.
Yeah.
Right. So overall, I just think it's wonderful that, we've really gone to a place where we can focus on the team and getting better skills and really hone in on a lot of our talents that a lot of our team members really want to kind of grow themselves too. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. And it's a great differentiator.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, I guess, confusion around what recreational riding is versus equine
Mm-hmm.
therapy. And when you have these kinds of certifications and skill sets that these instructors bring,
Mm-hmm.
obviously that does take you to a different place.
Yes.
And it is a big differentiator between, and it sarcastically called pony rides versus what we're doing here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just about the ride, it's about the connection. So for sure. So with that being said, what are some of your favorite memories of Strongwater?
Oh, there are so many. I think one of the most poignant memories that I have, and it was one day witnessing a client who was pretty much wheelchair bound,
Mm-hmm.
and her goal was to stand.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought out one of the, I'm going to say it was Carl, but it might not have been Carl. It might have been Harley. But one of our skilled horses that was significant. He was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because he stood still and did not move an inch during this entire process. But she essentially was able to get up out of her wheelchair and went hand over hand up the side of the horse and then grabbed what they call the withers and lifted herself up. And I swear there was not a dry eye within a mile.
I have goosebumps, like legit.
and she stood, and we clapped and we cried, and that horse still didn't move. It was amazing.
Oh, thank goodness.
But I have so many memories like that, but also just some joyous memories of just, again, the hoedown, just even being with the horse.
Right.
I was here with my my nephew's daughter, and she was absolutely in love with Bunny. Just couldn't get enough of Bunny.
Bunny's a fan fave.
Fan fave. So yeah, and the minis are always amazing. Mm-hmm. And taking the minis to some of the community centers, and they were in Billerica Common. We take them out and just let people just enjoy the absolute adorableness of those two little creatures.
Yes.
So yeah, so many memories.
Such a personality too, those two, Turbo and Amber. All right. So what, as the board president, right, for the last 6 years, I'm sure that there's been plenty of talk about where Strongwater is heading. So what are some goals and aspirations that you feel like we could really achieve within the next few years, and kind of explain some of your thought process behind that?
Well, I think the key thing is to keep true to the mission, which is enriching lives through the power of the horse, and expanding that mission, but staying true to the mission.
Right.
But there are also many opportunities. Again, we talked a little bit about reaching out to some of the other organizations like Home Base and 22 Mohawks, and really bringing in people who are who need the services of the equine piece and therapy that the horse can bring. And a new program that we're thinking about launching would focus on female veterans and first responders. female veterans are significantly underserved. I don't know if people are aware, but the suicide rate is much higher among female veterans than male, and it apparently is. There's a lot of research being done on it now, but it's because they lack the services that map to their needs. So we're hoping to do some work there. I personally, my own challenge is to expand the board.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that I would like very much to do, get more talent in. I don't think people realize how much talent they have
Right.
and what difference they can make. I'm open to, we have a couple of openings on the board. I would love to have some new ideas and fresh faces. So anybody that's interested, you can reach out to me via Starlet or just reach out to me. Happy to take any and all inquiries.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we just have, the sky's the limit. We just have so many, the staff is fabulous. Starlet's fabulous. The horses are fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we can just continue to grow and develop relationships and continue to offer these services to those who most need them.
I will say the board has been incredibly supportive in a lot of different ways. I remember whenever I was talking to Maria before, and then Joni, I always understood that there was a really great relationship and being able to have a conversation about things. I read one of the books that said the board president and the ED should be like a twin engine, right? Going forward, right? Yeah. We're a team, right? And then so my personal experience with the board, you guys have wonderful minds and incredible hearts, and it's genuine how much you care about the mission and about the organization. And you provide so much support. And then, some of those conversations, once we get to a resolution about something, you guys are just all in.
Yeah.
Right? It's incredible to watch, just incredible to see. And it's just, I know I appreciate it. Me personally, I appreciate it. And the connection and the jokes and we've got a couple of board members here who volunteer on a regular basis, and you're just very involved and you have a lot of heart for this.
We have a tremendous board. We have I am just so proud to lead such a great team of people. Mm-hmm. It is my honor and pleasure to be in this role. But again, I think it would be great to add a few people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we do have, and everybody has different backgrounds. Everybody has a different story to tell. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different skill set. But it all comes together around the mission of enriching lives.
Yes, that's awesome. Beautiful. Well, did you have any questions of me? Like anything else that you wanted to touch on or anything else like that?
Well, I did reference the Chinook helicopter. And she has not flown a Chinook helicopter, but she has flown a helicopter.
I have, Kiowa actually. And I was, like I said, I was originally commissioned as an aviator, and I did what's called a VTIP, Voluntary Transfer Incentive Program. Because my heart, even though I was fascinated with flying, right, absolutely loved it. I did really well in ROTC, but I realized that my passion is people. Right, and that's one of the reasons why I love it here. My passion is people, and although you can serve as a soldier and kind of help people out in different capacities, even as an aviator, I really loved HR, and I had a gut check one day that my actions were not lining up with my goals. And so I talked to the schoolhouse. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I was still in BOLIC. I was getting to the flight line and everything. And I was among the sea of aviators who all felt like they were following their dream and following their passion and things like that. And I'm just like, I don't have that same fire for this that you do. And so I talked to the command there, and I was like, hey, I think I'd be a better fit in HR. And of course I got a look like, what? Why don't you want to fly? And I get it, right? I get the fascination, and I get the passion, but that same passion that they had about flying, that's what I had about people, right? And HR and law. And so I was the odd person out, And I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and transfer. They're like, are you absolutely certain? I said, yes, I'm getting to that point in my career and my age to where I need to right the ship a little bit. And this was a fascination that kind of took me on a tangent. But I did fly a Kiowa, and not only, that, but I was in Hawaii, of all places, right?
Not a bad view.
There was an instructor pilot there. I was a cadet. Yeah, he let me fly for a little bit. And then whenever I got to the flight line later on, after I commissioned, I was like, okay, yeah, I remember some of this that the IP said. But yeah, like I said, like I'll still light up about it. Like I said, I had so much fun with it. And I love being a soldier through and through. But, people are my passion.
And that is our good fortune. It is our good fortune. We're blessed to have her. So
I appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much, Martha, for being with us and putting up with me and all my antics.
It is absolutely, as I said, my pleasure.
And then I appreciate your time, and hopefully you'll tune in for another one.